This is your moment. Express yourself. Let your voice be heard. This is your moment. The time has come to share it with the world. This is your moment. Express yourself. Let your voice be heard. This is your moment. The time has come with the Latoya Show.
Welcome to another edition of This Is Your Moment. I'm your host, Latoya Foster. Now, I want you all to give this some food for thought. What would you do if you feel as if you're doing exactly what God placed you here to do? You're using your God-given talent, your God-given gift, and all of a sudden, that gift and that talent isn't working for you. I mean, just one day is just not working for you anymore. How would you handle that? Something to think about. Well, that's just what happened to our guest today. Now, you might remember two-time STELLA nominee and Billboard Top 10 Gospel artist Keyondra Lockett stopped by the show and gave us a stellar performance during our holiday season. She was with us for our Christmas edition. But we needed to get up close and personal with her, and let me tell you, does she have a mind-blowing story? Her gifts and her talents, at some point, didn't look like they were working for her anymore, and she had to start thinking about what was next going to look like, or how she was going to turn her test into a testimony. And we can all learn something from that today. Sometimes we are tested so that we can go out there and we can spread this testimony that God has seen us through. Check out Keyondra Lockett and her story right here on This Is Your Moment, coming up next. Keyondra Lockett, welcome to This Is Your Moment. How are you, lady?
I am good. I want to thank you for having me so much, Latoya, because you didn't have to invite me to be a part, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Listen, I am grateful and I am honored that you are here joining us. Thank you so much for your performance during the Christmas holiday. You are a part of our Christmas special. Girl, let me tell you, that rendition of the Christmas song, or as everyone refers to chestnuts roasting over an open fire,
Right.
I done sang from Christmas to February because of your rendition of that song.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because I hear you got some success off of doing that song too.
Yeah, actually, it's one of my favorite Christmas songs. My producer was like, "I think you should do something Christmas. Let's go ahead and record," and I did. I recorded like I think like maybe a week or so after I recorded for your show. I went in the studio and did my own version of it, and I released it to Spotify, and that first week it got like 2,000 something streams. Then now it's got like 12,000 plus.
Oh,
So of course it's not even Christmas anymore. So it's like, y'all still listening to this song? Thank you.
yes, we are. And still singing along to it. That is fantastic, Keyondra. Well,
Thank you.
what sticks with us also is a song so fitting for this moment, which is your single, Trouble Won't Last.
Mhm.
It's a huge deal. Talk about the song and the inspiration for it.
Thank you. Well, the song is from my album, The Heel Reloaded. So we did a limited edition of The Heel with three additional songs, and one of them just so happened to have been Trouble Won't Last. We released it to radio like around about this time last year, and it hit number one, had the number one song in the country for a week. And I am so grateful for that because I'm an independent artist and I'm doing this, you know. And
Wow.
so, of course, I have to give all glory and honor to God because had it not been for Him, then I wouldn't be here, you know. But at the same time, um, just bringing awareness to the fact that I am an independent artist and working in this vein and you know doing what I'm doing. A part of this song had a lot to do with that. You know, I've been doing this for 5 years on my own. For those of you who may or may not remember me, I used to sing with the group Zael, and I just you know decided like maybe I guess like the in the middle, or like maybe about the around about the third year of me or the group disbanding. Like I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I was going through some vocal issues, and I decided to go ahead and start writing my album, The Hill. And in that, I realized that my vocal situation was not all that bad. Actually, it was a setup for me. I ended up doing a song called Try. I released it to radio year before last, and it hit top 15. And I did a music video for it as well. And it has also aired on BET. The music video did. So, just got a lot of things out of this body of work due to the fact that I really didn't have my vocals the way that I had always had them before. And so
Wow.
I just want to encourage somebody with that. Like if
Mm,
you things have changed for you, things may not be flowing or going the way that they had been. You got some type of interruption in your life, let
well,
it happen and be okay with it, knowing that all things work together.
that is so powerful right now, Keyondra, because people are feeling interruptions in their
Yeah.
lives. They're
Hmm.
feeling a tumultuous time in their lives. It's
Right.
a roller coaster ride right now for someone else, for some people who are
Right.
watching right now. But you just said it, that it was a setup for what was next for you. But at that moment, were you feeling any type of anxiety, like, oh my God, my vocals, my gift? What was
Yes.
going through your mind right then? What was going on in your life right then? And how did you push through and persevere?
I definitely went through a lot of moments where I was like, God, I don't know if you're telling me that I should not be doing this anymore, because what I had been doing musically, how I had been singing, it's not there anymore. So I don't know if I should go forward and do this. So I had moments where I was like, I don't want to sing anymore.
Yeah,
I'd rather do the beauty thing, because of course I have my own line.
yeah.
And so, I'm like, well, I'd rather work on that than, do this. And what I learned again is that whether I have the best of the best of vocals, whatever state I'm in, I should be content.
Mm,
And on top of that, be very grateful. And just realize that it's not my vocal ability that has gotten me in any door. It's always been God. And so
woo,
I
yeah.
had to really think about that. Yeah, I had to really think about that and pay attention to the fact that it's not me anyways. So whatever it is that God's gonna do, if He hasn't shut the door for me to stop singing and stop doing ministry, keep going. And I haven't stopped.
Wow, Keandra, there are some people out there who needed to hear that. That is a testimony right there, sister, and that's
Amen.
real, because we oftentimes think it's us. It's
Right.
not
Hmm.
us.
Not at
This is
all.
God moving. He's just using us. We just need to
Hmm.
be grateful that we're the vessel that
Right.
He's using for His good work. That is
Very
so
true.
important. So
Yeah.
important. So as you're navigating through that moment, you're singing that song to yourself. Trouble won't last.
Right.
Trouble won't
Correct.
last.
Yes, ma'am. It was definitely a song for me, and I feel like anything that I pen, any songwriter, everything should have some type of uh, um, moving out of the situation or whatever it is that helps you. You should be able to help somebody else, and so that's what I felt like, would happen. I'm always transparent and open in all of my music, but yeah, that song was definitely for me, and I felt like it would be able to help somebody else, not knowing that this whole, like a year or some months rather after writing the song, because we wrote those three songs in October
Mhm.
or September, I think, and released that album in October, not knowing that the pandemic would come shortly after,
Right.
so
That's right.
definitely needed that encouragement.
Well, I tell you what, it is blessing, folks. As I'm cruising down the highway, I'm listening to it. You see people bopping it, so you know that it's impactful for sure. Let's talk about you navigating through this interesting music industry, especially right now while we're in this pandemic. It's a very interesting time. Talk about that and what your experience has been as a woman, as a young woman, and as an independent artist. What's that been like
Right.
for you?
Yeah, it's so funny that you spin it that way because everybody's all hyped off of the whole clubhouse craze.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
anytime that anytime that I do find a chance to get on, it's really cool to see and hear all of the rooms and the conversations that are going on. But I host along with my sister Kim Lockett and Faith Anderson of 10th Child Inc. We host a room called We Got Next, the Gospel Music Edition, Women's Edition. And we talk about like these types of things like maneuvering and having a name and a voice and a face in our industry when it is male driven, but
Right.
at the same time we have to be strong enough to be able to get in there and do what it is that we need to do without looking like or without over exerting our power or what it is that we have or our
Right.
type, things like that. And so I think that the way that I've been able to do that is just by having a presence, having a team that works for me. My team, they are a presence for me, but at the same time I've had to um put on my big girl pants and instead of seeing this as a male driven industry, but even though it is,
Mhm.
you just got to get in there and do the work. And I think that people will pay attention to you more when you've done the work, when you've proven
That's
yourself.
right.
And hitting number one at radio, that is a really good thing. It is.
Yeah.
But I think because you can't stop there. I think those types of moves, those types of successes, and continuing on, consistency is key. And I think that that's the thing that's helped me as a woman in this industry to be able to move forward is just consistently doing what I do my way in my lane. And I would encourage whoever else is doing so, don't try and mock yourself or mock others and pattern yourselves under or after other people. Just do you, but do it consistently every day. Work towards becoming that great artist or great whatever. And it doesn't matter, woman, man, whoever. Just keep pushing and doing the work, and eventually things will happen.
I love your energy and your spirit, girl. That's
Thank
some good
you.
stuff there. That's some good stuff.
Thank you.
Talk about that moment when you heard yourself on the radio for the first time, and what was that like?
Okay. Well, the first time that I heard myself on the radio was like, I think 2000 and, I think 2001 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, with the group Ziel. And but it was so of course I have had two different experiences, one with the group and then one on my own. But both experiences are, they've been like brand new still. I'm very grateful to be able to still hear myself on the radio. I
Right.
don't have to be on radio at all. I don't have to be doing none of the stuff that I'm doing.
Right.
But I'm very grateful, very appreciative. And so anytime that I hear myself, it's like, wow, there I go. Let me turn it up. Oh, there's me. I
Oh,
know this so childish maybe, but it's just a gratefulness that I don't think that I'll ever get rid of.
oh no. It's some nothing is like turning on anything and seeing or hearing yourself.
Right.
I've got to ask you, Keyondra, do you believe that when you had challenges with your vocals, that might have been your most challenging moment?
I would have to say yeah, because this is how for the past 15, 16, 17 years, I was able to build and grow into the woman that I am today.
Right.
Musically,
Right.
vocally, all those things. That's been the thing that has even put money in my pockets.
That's right.
So without that, it's like, Lord, what do I do? You trying to do something different? Like you let me know, tell me. And he's like, no, you just follow me. I got you. Just feel me. And if I tell you to move and go, then that's when you do. But until then, keep going, keep pushing through. But it has definitely been one of the hardest moments for me.
Yeah, I bet.
So
I
I'm
bet.
very grateful though that I moved out of that, pushed forward in that, and I do have a testimony of it.
At any point during that journey, did you question God?
I did.
Mm,
I did. I had questions like, God, do you really want me to do this?
mm,
Um, Even sometimes, God, are you for me? you know, um, just, really thinking like silly thoughts when we know already God is, if God be for us, who can be against us? You know what I'm saying? Like he's got our backs 101%.
No doubt.
If he did it before, he'll do it again. Like all the scripture, all the sayings in church that we've said, it is not until you go through some crazy situation that you'll be tested with those words. Do
That's
you
right.
really believe them yourself?
And that's
And so the
real.
Lord will show. Go ahead.
No, that's real because here's the thing. People sometimes get the impression because you're a Christian, because
Mm-hmm.
you're a gospel artist or you're a minister or what have you, that you don't get faced with trials and tribulations, that you don't ever question God, that you
Right.
don't ever
Mm-hmm.
have those moments. You know what I mean? I mean,
Right. Yeah, definitely. And I get it. I completely understand um how they can look at us and be like, "Oh, well, it doesn't seem like y'all, go through anything cuz y'all Christians and God is with you." Yeah, he is, but there's there are these tests that we have to all go through, we have to all endure to prove that who we are, and to prove that the God that we serve, that we sticking with him no matter what. And I realized that that's what's been going on. It's not that God just like he hates you and he's
right,
against you.
right.
Most times it's a test, and you need to be strong enough and developed enough to be able to pass them. And if you're not, you got to go through it again.
Oh, and you look, you don't want to go through it again. Get it right the
Not
first
at all.
time. Remember that
Not at all.
take that test. You you just want to ace it the first go around.
Right,
You
you
don't have to
definitely
go through
do.
the motions again. So let's talk about what's next for Keyondra. What you got going on, and how are you feeding your fan base right now? Because of the pandemic, we know it's very difficult to have performances, live performances. So how are you feeding your fans right now?
Well, actually, I am working on my album. I'm done, actually. Yeah, I'm done. And it's going to say it again.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Everything is going to mixing and mastering right now. I just had three background vocalists to do a reprise for me for one of the songs. So I am. I'm done with my part, but
Okay.
all the other things have to be done. And so that is going to be my goal for this year, is to give everybody a new body of work. I am usually not the type to go and, do the virtual performances and things like that. But thank God for you. I had the opportunity to post that performance.
Oh my God, no,
And
thank you. And that was magnificent. And I'm still
thank
watching
you.
it and I'm still singing to it.
Thank you. And of course, being invited to do other virtual performances as well. But that's the best way that, my fan base is being fed. And I have to do better though at getting online and singing in front of them and going live and doing those types of things. I'm going to do so much better with that this year. But it's also kind of difficult too because of the pandemic. So, it's like you in a whole, so all of us are in this whole like minefield, you know, any of us can step on the wrong thing and catch corona, or step
Yeah,
on the wrong thing. And I mean, it's
it's a
bad enough that you have the crazy life situations, car wrecks,
yep,
all these kinds of things that can happen. But now added to that is
yeah,
these new things. And
yep,
so you just got to be really, really careful. One thing that Ted Wynn said: artists, gospel artists, we feel like ministry is the stage only,
mm,
and it's not. It's going out there and feeding the hungry,
it's okay.
clothing the naked, and being there for the widowed.
Yeah,
We don't do those things enough. I
mm,
don't do those things enough.
yeah,
And so I just felt like the best thing for me to do is to continue to grow in my spiritual walk,
yeah.
to continue to grow and become a better person. And I'll feed everybody music and all these things, but I want to get me right first,
Mm.
and be that example. So
I
yeah,
love it. I love it. I love it.
thank you.
There are some people who need to hear all of it. And that's a good reminder for all
Hmm.
of us, Keyondra, we all have a task. We all have a mission to extend that olive branch, to be our brother and sister's keeper. All of that is so important. And we've got to find the time to balance all that. Somewhere in these 24 hours that God has given us, we've got to
Right.
fit all that in because that's important too. So, Keyondra, before we go, what is your advice to the struggling artist who's sitting there saying, look, God gave me this voice, but I've been going in that studio, recording, I've been writing, I've been working on these projects, I've been going on social media, pushing stuff out there. I ain't got there yet. Should I just throw the towel in? God, do I need to just get me a regular job and just call it a day? Because obviously God ain't ready for me to do this yet. Maybe I wanted it and God didn't want it for me. What do you think?
Well, crazy thing is, on the clubhouse that I was on earlier today, in the room that we hosted, Candy West was on there, and so was Gugu. And both of them said that it is important for artists to have more things going than just singing, especially in today's time. And that's very true, because you have all these crazy things going on, like the pandemic.
Yep.
You can't even go out there and fly or drive, or nobody's really doing events and things anymore. You definitely need something else going for you, like plenty of things going. Also, the whole multiple streams of income,
Right.
you got to have that. So just being an artist, I think that this whole thing is really helping all of us to realize that it is not just about gospel artists anyways. It's not just about us doing this, it's about the other gifts that we have. Stir up every gift that God has given you. It might be that some of us are so focused on ministry and being a gospel artist that we are only focused on ministering to church people, but we're forsaking the people out there on the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm glad that this happened, for in that way.
Right.
It is so sad that so many people have lost their lives and so many families can't even come together, but it's teaching us so much. It's teaching us to love our families right now while we can, and it's teaching us to get out there and do other things other than just the one couple of things that we do. There are other ways to succeed, and I think that that's another thing that artists need to recognize too. There are more ways to succeed. There's not one method to be able to get to where it is that you're trying to go.
You know what, Keyondra? That's not even just for artists. That's for everybody. You
Right.
can people right now, because people right now, because of the pandemic, could have had a business that has been ongoing for 2-3 decades or for generations, that was passed down, or the great job that brought in a lucrative income that's been wiped away, gone, and may never return. What you're talking about right now is for all of us. We all need to look and say, what else does God want from me? What else am I good at? What other talents has God blessed me with? You're on to something, girl. That's real talk right there. That's real.
Thank you. Yeah.
We needed.
It's funny that you go ahead.
No, I said we needed to hear that, and we need to talk about that more.
Yeah, but it's funny that you mentioned about the talents, because in the Bible there's a story about the three who had different set of talents, and when the master came back to see what each of those people did with those things, he was like, okay, what'd you do? The two that did something with them is like, good, thank you so much for doing what you were supposed to do. But the one who didn't, he was like, no, you didn't do what I asked you to do. So he was punished. And I think that a lot of times we're so focused on one thing, and I just got to do this, or I just got to become a number one something gospel artist, something blah blah blah, whatever. And the Lord the whole time is saying, what if I don't want that for you? What if it's that I want you to do this? You can do this and minister to those people, but then there's something else that this whole artist situation is pushing you towards, and that's the ultimate thing that I need you for.
Amen to that. That's a great lesson That is a great lesson.
It's one that I'm having to learn.
That's okay. Look, you're learning and you're teaching us too, Keyondra.
Amen.
Amen to that. How can our viewers learn more about you and all you're doing?
Okay. Well, you can follow me on my social media. That's at Keyondra Lockett, KeyondraLockett. You'll see anything about my next, my album, my music, or even my clothing line, Jolie Noir. So you can go on there, follow me, and I'll write back.
Keyondra, thank you so much for blessing us today. You'll come
Yes,
back,
ma'am.
won't you?
I sure will. Thank you for having me.
Wait, we can't wait. When that album drops, come here first.
You got it.
This is your moment.
Can't wait. Keyondra, big hugs, all the best to you. Thank you so much.
You too. Love you. Thank you.
Love you too. Take good care.
This is your moment. Express yourself. Let your voice be heard. This is your moment. The time has come with the Latoya Foster Show.
Now, was that a story or was that a story? God took her through a test, but then took her all the way to #1 on the Billboard gospel charts. That just goes to show that God may be taking you through a little something, but He always sees you through to the other side, bigger and better. Keyondra, girl, thank you so much for stopping by and sharing your story with us, because it's truly a testimony. It's truly demonstrating that our faith might be tested, but if we keep God first, keep our eyes on the prize, keep doing exactly what He wants and needs us to do, He has never left us, and He will always, always, always see us through. There's so many lessons to take from her story, and I know that someone or someone's out there today have learned a lot from that story, and they're looking at their own lives and applying those messages to their own lives. Your test is your testimony. Ain't no doubt about it. I too, I got to tell y'all more about my story in some other upcoming shows, but let me tell you, I've been through the storms. I've been tested, and I know what it's like when you get to the other side and you can share that testimony, and I cannot wait to share mine with you very soon. Keyondra Lockett, thank you so much for stopping by. Of course, as you know, we could not do this without Kevin Adele, the Word Network, and WADL. We love them and we thank them so much for this very moment, for this opportunity. We cannot thank them enough. Please, please, please become a partner with the Word Network so that you can be a part of everything they're doing across the globe. And we want to thank you so much for continuing to support This Is Your Moment. We appreciate all of your letters, your emails, your cash apps. You can always still send us a cash app to $TOYA0120 or shoot us an email at latoyafoster14@gmail.com for other payment options. And of course, as I stated, we love getting your letters. So bring them on, bring them on. latoyafoster14@gmail.com. Until we meet again, stay prayed up, stay blessed up, and in this moment in time, stay masked up until we get to the other side. We thank you so much for all of your support, and we will see you again next week. Take care.